Hey yo, it's me, the bad guy, Zeke 4-0, back with a brand new episode of WWE Champions. Make sure after the video, if you enjoyed it, to leave a like as well as a comment. Plus, if you are brand new to the channel, by all means, please drop a people's elbow on the subscribe button as well as hit a razor's edge on that bell icon so you can receive all future notifications for this channel. This is going to be short, sweet, and brief. I just recently did a video, literally a couple hours ago, on how to access the secret menu to champions, where it showcased a lot of champions that are on the way to the game, but they just aren't here yet. And that allows, speculation to bubble. Maybe that's what they want. Just like Vince with WWE. Pushing Reigns, but maybe there's something else going on behind there. He's a mastermind after all. Maybe so is Scopely. Definitely. But hear me out on this. With seeing the NWO with Scott Hall, X-Pac, Six during that time, Kevin Nash, it got me thinking about maybe we do get Hogan. It would be cool to see Hogan debut with the NWO. Just like I feel if they did a DX event, it would be cool for them to debut China. It would be two great champions and wrestlers that a lot of people loved, iconic, legendary careers for what they did for the business. And they would just be overall great pulls to bring in new players. But what is another way to compensate for that if we don't get China, if we don't get Hogan? And I started looking at the NWO, and I got thinking to myself, there's a lot of members of the NWO in the game. You got DiBiase, you got Booker T, you got Big Show, you got a lot of big champions that rock that banner of the NWO. And me personally, I feel that the NWO should have had a better link, and I am hoping that D-Generation X has a link set that makes sense. But with that aside, I started thinking, if we don't get Hogan, who could we get, or what could we get NWA, shout out to Cody Rhodes and Dusty, but if we could get an NWO event, what would be something unique that could pull in new players, keep the players that are playing currently, and give us something interesting to indulge in for a moment of nostalgia, in a sense. Because that's one of the reasons why we pull. We pull for champions that are not only God tiers, we're pulling for people that we grew up watching, people that we love to watch now, if they're still doing it. Or, zone out on the WWE network and go ham and binge. That is what this game is. You get to play as champions that you love to watch, you grew up on, or you're watching now. You can make your roster any way you want. And I got to thinking to myself, with so many members of the NWO in here, could there possibly be an NWO event? And it got me speculating about something very unique that could draw people in. There's a member of the NWO who played on both sides. He wore the red and black just like he wore the black and white. One of the most iconic champions in the game, one of the most iconic wrestlers in history, and he deserves a redesign all the way. I know at 4-star he has become a freaking problem. I know that for a fact. But what about 2-star and 3-star? Ladies and gentlemen, my idea is this. If we do not get Hogan for an NWO event, even if we get, this is speculating because we may not even get an NWO event at all. They might all just drop in the megas one after another. But bear with me. If there is an NWO event and we do not get Hogan, there's one way that we can get something even more unique. What if we got the Wolfpack gear for Striker Sting? Now think about this. He wore the black and white. He wore the red and black. He is iconic. He is Sting. He was one of the most elusive champions to pull back in the day as the Red MP trainer. He was in the greatest tournament, the one and only greatest tournament that we have had. I hope we get one soon where you had to do a vote. And depending on which tour you completed, you either got Andre, the Undisputed Future Seth Rollins, Austin 316, or Sting the Icon. And had we known about how God tier tough Seth was back then with the introduction of Choose Moves, and had we known that Sting was the Red MP trainer, we may not have wanted to go for Andre. But Andre is still a great champion, don't get me wrong. But Sting is one of those champions that's been in the game for a while, and as we've seen, Undertaker, the last Outlaw Striker, got a redesign, and the People's Champ, The Rock Showboat, also got a redesign. So could we possibly get Wolfpack gear for Sting? And what I feel what would be interesting when it came to Sting with his gear is that it should literally be this. His gear, the Wolfpack gear, the red and black face paint all the way, his gear bonus should be +2 green MP. With Steel on him, with Shinsuke on him, I'm telling you, Striker Sting would get a new breath of life in this game, especially since he's easier to acquire now. You can literally like fuse hunt him by getting shards and taking him all the way up to 3-star silver. So what do y'all say? Like, what do you think about that? Because I think that would be very, very cool. Just like if they did DX, I feel like a cool thing they could do with DX is if we don't get China, maybe we could get like Shawn Michaels and Triple H's, like, modern era DX versions, where Triple H has the biker, the biker bar handle, mustache and everything, and Shawn has his hat. Then, that would be cool. Like, that would be something that people would be intrigued by. That's something that we grew up on. That's something that we love to see. So, what do y'all think about that? I even feel that the Undisputed Future Seth Rollins deserves new gear. He should be he should definitely be rocking that all-white attire that he wore for a few years ago. And if we don't get the gear for Sting, this is something I do suggest. We usually do see multiple variations of different champions. Sting could very well have a trinity of champions himself. Because right now we only have Surfer Sting, who is the legend acrobat. He's a pretty top-tier champion. Also hybrid champion with blue gems and color turn gems. We have the red MP trainer in Striker Sting. Now, hear me out on this one. We could possibly, if there was a final Sting, I would say they should do the modern era Sting, give him the gear that he wore against Triple H when DX and NWO all came out and helped out. Have him wear that gear and give him the class of Showboat, and have his submission move not only take down his opponent's MP and health, but he also takes health. So basically, by putting the person in the submission, he's not only wearing down his opponent's health and MP, but he's also gaining back MP. And that would make him not only unique and interesting, because that's a different way to play the Showboat class, but it would also be unique because it would give a champion like Shield Reigns Trickster, it would make his trainer ability more unique. It would make him, useful for somebody else with stealing health or whatnot with that submission. But with that being said, that's literally what I feel. If there's an NWO event, could we possibly, if we don't get Hogan, can we see the red and black attire for Sting +2 green MP, just like how we have the gear for Andre, Enzo, Harlem Heat Booker? Could we possibly see that for Sting? That would be very interesting to see him do that. And think about it, that would really help out with that would help out even more if him and Kevin Nash were in a tag link, because Kevin Nash can run green, and that would make their tag team more unique, because Kevin Nash could easily have Steel or Sting as his trainer, and then with them in the tag with the green gems and everything, it would just be a match made in heaven, literally. And it would be doing the NWO and the Wolfpack justice. So with that being said, let me know what you think. What kind of gear would you like to see for certain champions in here? Whose gear would you like to see in here? Because there's a lot of cool gear we could see. I could see The Rock, the Great One Rock, acquiring his shades and his leather, his all leather attire with the vest, the Brahma Bull belt buckle. I could see that happening. We could easily see something different, like for Rusev. We could see a different hairdo or different attire with him. There's a lot of options. Jinder Mahal's another guy. He's won the WWE Championship. He could easily have a new attire. Braun Strowman, Monster Amongst Men, he can easily get a shirt that says "Get These Hands." There is a lot of options. We could even see brand new Shield gear for all the Shield members. So just putting out ideas out there, because they can't come into existence if you keep them in your head. And by all means, take this video as an opportunity to vent your thoughts. Who would you like to see get gear? Who would you like to see get a redesign or buff or nerf? And let champions know what you think. And always remember, bad times don't last forever, but bad guys do. I really do hope we get an NWO event. I really do hope we get a DX event. I hope we get to see China or Hogan, maybe Mr. Ass or Road Dogg. There's a lot of possibilities here. But if anything, could we possibly see a offer in the store for Sting's gear? That's all I'm saying. He's a legend. He deserves it. And it's been a long time coming. Peace.